Tuesday, where we bring you fun, positive, and uplifting content. Hey, my name is Lynda West. I am your host, and today we're going through auditions. It's been a really, really fun process. I want to share with you really quick what Taco Tuesday is and what we're doing right now. So I had this idea a couple years ago that I wanted to have my own talk show, just like Oprah and Ellen. You've seen those guys, right? Or you've heard of them or something or so. And I decided I want to have my own talk show. So about a year ago, I bought the domain name tacotuesday.tv and I just let it sit there. So how often have you done something where you started the motion and you didn't continue on with it? Well, that's what happened with me. So what happened after that is I ended up meeting this gentleman named Healey, and he runs a company called Live Video Hub, and he helps people doing their broadcasts. I think he's full up, so you can't use him now, but I reached out to him anyway. Anyhow, I was like, Stephen, will you produce my show? And he said, yes. And I was like, uh-oh, now I got to do a show. So I put the idea out there and I decided I wanted to do kind of like American Idol. I wanted to find a couple co-hosts to join me on the show. And so I would do like American Idol, where I would interview people and then have the audience vote on the people. Hi, Dale. Good to see you today. Good to see you. Oh, I got to show my comments here so I can see what's going on down there. Hello, Kim and Dale. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us live. If you have any questions for the auditioneers as we're going, go ahead and place them in the comments below. So what's happening is I'm actually auditioning people to be co-hosts on the show, and you, the audience, will vote. So what I want to show you right now is what we have here on the screen. These are the 4 people who are going to be on today's show. We have Janine, Mary, Cheryl, and Letha. And Janine and Mary are going to be first, and then Cheryl and Letha will be next. After today's show is over, you're going to have an opportunity to go vote for them at tacotuesday.tv. Only one of your votes counts. So if you try to vote a couple times, only one will count. And then also, in addition to that, you can vote for one or all 4. It's up to you. If you like them all, vote for them all. If you only like one of them, vote for one of them. The whole idea here is for me to find co-hosts that are going to be a good match with me. So I really appreciate you being here watching live. If you're watching the replay, go ahead, do #replay. Audition is for women only. No, Dale, actually, that's a great question. I want to address that really quick before we get into the show. So what happened is I opened up auditions and I allowed people to vie for auditioning. And I got about 50% men and 50% women who put their applications in. And what I did is I wanted to make this 100% fair. So what I did is I actually put everybody in order of how their applications came in. And it just so happened that the first 16 people, which is how many I needed for the first round of auditions, that of those 16 people, only one was a male. So only one man actually auditioned during this first round. It was just coincidental, 100%, because they actually are being auditioned as they came in their applications. So thank you for that question. I really like that. It's like The View, but better because this is fun, positive, and uplifting. We're not going to be backstabbing. Anyway, I don't want to talk about The View right now. That's my view of The View. And so anyway, here we are in this process of interviewing people to be co-hosts on the show. And today I will be, again, interviewing Janine, Mary, Cheryl, and Letha. But I want Stephen to go and show up on the screen the people that we had last week. And, yeah. There we go. Oh, it's showing me. Okay. Okay. So these are all the people that went into the semifinals. Sorry about that, Stephen. These are the I'm getting Stephen confused. So please accept my apologies on this. But Anita, John, Clara, and Lynda all auditioned in the semifinals last week. Today, at the end of this show, I'm going to announce the 2 people who will be going into the finals, which is next week. And that is December 18th, again at the same time, between 12 and 1 Pacific time, 3 to 4 Eastern time, and then 8 to 9 UK time. And I'm going to announce those winners. So stick around to the end so you can see who won. Also, at the end of today's show, you'll be able to vote for the finals, the people who will go into the finals. Now, we also had 8 finalists. So Stephen, if you can show that card again, apologize. I got mixed up on, I have notes, and even with notes, sometimes things don't go as planned. Okay. So we had Anita, John, Clara, Lynda, Janine, Mary, Cheryl, and Letha. All of them are in the semifinals, and 4 of them will be moving into the finals, which is next week, on the 18th. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to thank our sponsors. We have sponsors are the Live Video Hub, Living Live, and Finish It Fast program. So I'm going to talk really, really quick about Living Live. That's my company, Living Live. I help women be seen and be heard so that they get on stages, get on podcasts. Maybe they want to start their own show. I help them to do that. And then the Finish It Fast program turns procrastinators into actionators. And now I want to bring to the screen Stephen Healey. He is the producer of our show, and he also runs the Live Video Hub. So Stephen, welcome to the show today. And I want you to take an opportunity to share with everybody what the Live Video Hub is and how they can get involved.
Thank you, Lynda, and thank you for the welcome. And hello to everybody watching. And hello to Mary and Janine, who will be on the screen shortly. This is my turn. I just want to say thank you to Lynda for organising all this. We started on the 6th of November. We've been going every Tuesday since then. And we're in the run-up to Christmas now, run-up to the finals. And the Live Video Hub, if you broadcast on BeLive.tv, and you broadcast on your business page, contact me, and you can also broadcast on the Live Video Hub and reach a wider audience. Thank you, Lynda.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a great way to cross-post, because you want to reach different audience. Stephen, he can help you to be seen on more platforms. So let's go ahead and welcome to the show today. We've got Janine and Mary. We'll bring them on up. And here's how it's going to happen, you guys. We're just going to sit here. We're going to talk about various topics, and we're going to do talk show style. And so you guys I said taco style. Are you guys eating tacos? I'm not. I wish I was. I really wish I was right now. I'm a little bit hungry. But we're just oh, you did? I'm so jelly. So we're just going to have talk show style where we show what it would be like is if the three of us were doing a talk show. And again, at the end of this show today, you will go to vote at Taco Tuesday. And that's the word talk, TALK. Tuesday.tv, where you can vote for who you think would be the best guest host to be with me on the show, co-host. So you guys, let's talk about, first of all, I want to share with you the first show that we're going to have, the first real show where it's not auditions anymore. It's like we're actually on Taco Tuesday, that the topic for that one is going to be near-death experiences. That's going to be on January 8th, which is an interesting topic because I had a near-death experience, and I was wondering, have either of you ever had one?
Not near death. I've watched death, but I've never had a near death.
No.
Okay, Janine? No. Well, I gotta tell you, for me, it was.
I'm trying to think. I've done a lot of things, like I do all the roller coaster rides, and those are always a lot of fun and everything. And so there's a lot of adventure things that I actually get involved in. But no, I don't think I've ever really had a near death. Not to the point where, there was a chance of me dying at least. I might have been really scared.
Well, I almost drowned.
Oh, you did? What happened?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I almost drowned. So I was at Universal. Sorry, it was some park that has one of those wave pools. And the wave is like, woo, must be a lot of fun, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I was having fun for a while until I almost drowned. Okay, so what happened was I was at the park with my kids. They were little. My daughter was probably 6 and my son was 7. And they were like they have a little beach part in this wave pool. And so they were just on the little beach. And I was like, I'm going to go in this wave. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, at that time, I was a bodybuilder and I had 4% body fat. Well, for those who don't know, body fat helps you to float. Muscle helps you sink. So because I had all this muscle, my body just to the ground, sinking to the bottom. And I was like, keep myself afloat. Well, I wasn't able to keep myself afloat in this wave pool with my feet. Like I was paddling. I was like doing everything I could to stay afloat and I wasn't able to do it. So I was started to kind of drown. And luckily a gentleman jumped into the pool and he pushed me up and he held me up. I don't know how he breathed, but he held me up so that I could breathe. And when the lifeguard jumped in to finally see what was going on, he was like, I thought you two were playing a game. I was like, really? So anyway, it was a little bit scary for me. And I started to talk about it. So now I'm getting some feedback and wondering if you guys are getting any feedback as well. Okay. Oh, yeah. Dale. Okay, Dale. Dale says he's had several. So Dale, what I would love for you is reach out, because again, we're going to be talking about near death, and I have a couple people to share their near death experiences. So if you're interested in being on that show, go ahead and send me a private message. Anybody watching on that show, send me a private, and you reach out to me, because maybe, so I can't guarantee you will, but okay. So I'm glad
I think
you
one
guys
thing, wait, hang
haven't
on.
experienced.
One thing good from your story, Lynda, is that I guess this extra body fat's a good thing. I won't drown. I guess
you and me both, Mary. You and me both.
Yay! Just always a positive.
Well, that's so funny. Well, yeah, that's exactly. Well, yeah, the positive was that I lived, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah, but it's like I wasn't going to use floaties.
So
I was strong. Sometimes we let our thoughts get in the way, right? So mine was like, I'm strong enough. I can do this. I can keep myself afloat. And I'm not a swimmer, but as I used that as like my strength as a way to think that I was infallible. Not the case. So awesome. So what do you guys got going on this week?
Oh, I got a ton of stuff going on this week. So I have a speaking engagement tomorrow at an event here in San Diego. I have my own first workshop that I'm hosting on Saturday. I have a guest that I just picked up at the airport that's going to be here. She's from New York, so she's going to be here for the rest of the month through the holidays. And so much. I just wrote my first book. Wrote that in 27 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah. So lots of stuff going on over here on the home front. Right.
What about you, Mary?
Not much. Am I the one echoing? Uh-huh. I hate that I'm echoing. Can you hear me echo?
Yeah, I hear an echo on yours. So it's a little bit hard to go ahead and talk.
Okay. Is that better? I think it is. I think my earbuds are Bluetooth, and I think they were just interfering with things in the room that I'm in.
Oh, that's possible. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but now I can hear. But anytime with me this week is just a busy week. I have a store, so working at the store, and then I have things with the group that I'm in. So it's just a busy week of fun and excitement. Not writing any books, but surely working on it.
Awesome. Now, what kind of store do you have? I see something back there. What is that? Is that clothing?
It's a specialty prom shop and dress shop. So we do galas, proms, homecoming. It's our down season now, but even New Year's Eve we do some dresses like that. But it's finding the perfect fit for those girls that want to go to special occasions.
Do you rent them or do people buy them?
People buy them, but actually, I just met this woman that does rental, and I think we're going to partner. I think we're going to do a little bit of rentals for the high-end couture. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I actually rented a dress, like a princess dress, years and years, decades ago. And it was so cool because I literally did feel like a princess for the day. And it was fun to have that dress on. Even though I'm not a dress wearer, I still felt like a princess that day.
That's what we have. We have a lot of princess dresses. You're right. The big ones. Yeah.
It looks like Janine's done some Christmas decorating. She's got a little Christmas thing back there. Little Santa.
So we've been working on that over the weekend and just, preparing for the season.
For the season. It's going to be a really weird Christmas for me this year. But what about you guys?
Yeah, I think me too, Lynda, because of the fact that I know you're a little bit different living situation. My kids all live far away. I got them California, by you guys. And then I have North Dakota and Salt Lake City. And no one's coming in. They're all working.
Oh, I'm going to fly around for the next couple of days. Go hop around.
No, we're going to do it in January. Yeah, we'll have a big Christmas in January.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Janine? What do you got going?
Well, I have a bunch of stuff planned actually next to, doing the speaking event tomorrow and hosting my own workshop on Saturday, I will also be doing a lot of travel stuff. So I'll be going up to Newport Beach and Huntington Beach and working with some of the tourism boards up there on my travel writing adventures. That's a hobby thing that I have that I do. So since I have an out of town guest in that I will be hosting for the next several weeks, we got a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff planned. I'm looking forward to being a tourist in San Diego again.
Oh, okay. Tourist in San Diego. Okay. So where's your favorite place you've ever traveled?
Right now, I mostly stick to Southern California. I just quit my job a couple months ago, so I've always been tied to a full-time job and always didn't have necessarily the time to take off to do the international travels and things that I would like to do. So my favorite places are the coastal beach towns. So the Huntington Beach, the Newport Beach, Long Beach, Central California with Carmel by the sea and stuff. I love the whole beach community and the vibe that the laid back, relaxed, chill kind of vibe that all those towns have.
That's awesome. I love, my husband, I don't recommend this for your first time ever, but we went on a cruise going from San Diego to Hawaii around the islands and coming back. Well, that's 15 days, which is, I think it was 7.5 days at sea. So for a first time, my husband got so seasick. And it was funny as I was like, this is fun. I was like having a blast. And he was so seasick because I took a seasick pill and I didn't get seasick. And so first of all, I would recommend taking a seasick pill if you're not sure if you're going to get seasick or not. Because no matter how tough you are, your body doesn't know that you're that tough. Like, I'm this tough guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the funny
what about you, Mary? You like to travel?
Yeah, I like to travel. I've gone all over. I've done cruises. I love cruises. I could probably cruise all the time. But one of the funnest things when you said that, it popped into my mind. It was years ago. I forgot all about it. We used to have a place in Acapulco, and I would meet all these different people. And I met this one family from Cuernavaca, Mexico, in the middle of nowhere. So talk about a fun trip. We had to take a bus. Then we had to go ahead and take another vehicle to this little place called Cuernavaca. So I guess I'm more like Janine. I'm really like the adventures. When we go on cruises, I'd say, okay, what are we doing? When we get off the cruise, where we're going to go? We went, in Cayman Islands, where we're going to travel, Bahamas, where we're going to travel. I just think I'm that kind of person. Let's go zip lining. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. So I guess anywhere that gives me excitement is where I like to go. And then I also love road trips. I love just getting in the car and going.
I pictured you riding a donkey,
Let me tell you.
Didn't happen though.
Well, it was pretty close.
Yeah, or like planes, trains, and donkeys. Instead of planes, trains, and automobiles.
Well, it's like
that's a good movie though. I love that movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
And it's funny though, because I know, for me, I have never been on a cruise, and I think of cruises, and I'm like going, but why would you want to go and be trapped on this vessel that you can't get off with a bunch of people you didn't choose?
Because you're not looking at the full picture. The full picture is the destination. Well, I know,
exactly.
But Harley says it's the journey, not the destination. But I disagree. I think it's the destination. Yeah.
Well, and plus, when you're on the cruise, there's so much to do. I mean,
there really is. It's so much fun.
It is. Yeah. I would try one, Janine. You do a lot of traveling and pictures. The pictures are phenomenal.
I do.
Unlimited food.
There's something to be said about getting lost on that back road on the turn you didn't know you needed to take.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah. I remember my dad, when we would go places, say for example, because I live in San Diego, which is, for those who don't know, it's only a couple miles. We grew up a couple miles north of the Mexico border. And so we would travel up to Los Angeles for something. My dad would want to go to get pea soup at this place called Pea Soup Anderson's. And it was a long drive. It was probably 4 to 5 hours away. And none of us kids wanted to go, but it was my dad wanted to go. So we all went, right? But anyway, he would get lost almost every single time. And this was back in the days when there was no such thing as a cell phone. And you had to pull out your atlas and try to figure out where you were. And my mom had this saying, and this was my mom saying all the time. We go, how much further is it? And my mom would always say, it's just down the road a piece. It's just down the road a piece. I was like, this is a long road a piece. My dad always got lost though.
But here's a good question.
But he would always.
You talked about pea soup. you talked about pea soup being
Yeah.
like going for pea soup. That's a really good question for all of us here is what is that favorite meal or whatever that we always think of that we have to
Not-
have? I mean, pea soup. I don't think about that, but boy, I love it.
Yeah, that was my dad's. That wasn't mine.
Oh, okay. Well, what is your favorite?
I'll have to think about that. Janine, go first. Or Mary, if you know yours.
My favorite is always tacos. It's my favorite tacos are the ones that we actually make at home. But we also do, besides the traditional looking taco with the corn tortillas that you fry up and all that kind of stuff, we do that. But we also do what we call spoon tacos, which actually came about when we were camping and stuff because it was an easy meal. My mom could, brown the ground beef before we even left and everything. So usually that was the Friday night meal that she had to just reheat the meat and then put out all the taco fixings. And then we had chips. So you put your chips on the bottom layer of the plate and then you put your meat on top. And then you would do all your different layers of toppings, your cheese, your sour cream, your olives, your lettuce, your, whatever you wanted to put on it and everything. But it was an easy meal because by the time everybody got off from work, the camper got packed and all that good stuff. And you actually made the road trip to the campground. That was an easy dinner for mom to have out fairly quickly by the time we got the tent set up and pitched and all that good stuff. So that was always one of my favorite meals. And actually my daughter and I have it all the time. I don't put the chips on the bottom anymore because they get all, I've learned that, cooked meat makes chips soggy.
Yeah.
So,
but they do call that walking
but you
tacos.
spoon. You still spoon them. So that you spoon them with the chips and they're called spoon tacos.
Right.
They're really cool.
You know what spooning is, right? You know what spooning is, right? That's a different subject.
Whole different subject.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you guys are watching the show and you go ahead and hit that share button, share it out because I want as many people to watch the show as possible so they can, vote for the person that they want to become the co-host on the show. So please share this out. We really appreciate that. And I want to share that I thought was interesting, Janine, because the question was, what's that food, right? Like that food that I got to go for. And it's interesting how the food that's your favorite food is a food that ties into a story from when you were younger. And I think oftentimes that's what happens. So is lasagna. I love lasagna so much. And there's no story there. And I will go to an Italian restaurant, say, okay, in the order, and I'd say, I'll have lasagna. He's having, it's my favorite food right there. You, Mary, what's your favorite? Are you guys watching? Whether you're watching live or watching the replay, go and share with us what your food is. Like that food, like I just gotta have it. I gotta have it.
Yeah, I have two. One is the traditional chili rellenos. I'm married to a Hispanic man, and his mom was from Mexico, and she would make the chili rellenos with the hamburger, potatoes, and raisins in them. Oh, my
raisins?
Gosh. Yes.
Interesting.
So good, and they were just oh my gosh, so good. And the second is stuffed shells. I know, right? My mom used to make the best stuffed shells. I know, right? I don't know how she mixed that cheese, whatever she put in there. All I know is that I went out the other day and I said, I bought frozen ones, right? I thought, well, they can't be so, but they were terrible. But I tell you, anytime I talk to my mom, I'm like, did you make me some stuffed shells? And she's like, no. I'm like, come on, Mom. I need some stuffed shells. So, yeah.
I need them. I need them. Yeah. And it's not just any stuffed shells. It's mom's stuffed shells because the other stuffed shells weren't any good. So
that's right.
Although my mom did make these amazing rolls. We call them, they're called Noni's rolls. I don't know who Noni is, but they're called Noni's rolls. That's not my mom's name. And so we got 5 minutes left, you guys, just so you know. So Noni's rolls, and these rolls were so good that I actually considered starting my own food truck that sells just Noni's rolls. And that's so peanut butter or with jelly, with all kinds of different, all kinds of I didn't do it because my mom would have had it. I'm like, oh, Noni's rolls are always much fun, so much fun. So let's see, as we go into our last 5 minutes, why don't you guys share something that has happened in your life. Like, what's your most embarrassing moment? I asked this last week of Anita and John, and it was pretty fun. So what was your most embarrassing moment? Let's start with you, Mary.
Most embarrassing moment. Oh my gosh. Well, I have many. So I'll be honest with you.
That's good.
I have many.
You're really living on the edge.
I am. What I do in my business, I talk to a lot of different people all the time, and I see them in big gyms with tons of different people. And not too long ago, I was in Orlando at this convention for volleyball, and we're all in this great big gym. And okay, this sticks out so much. I was talking away to this coach. I'm going, how are the kids? How's the wife? How's this? I'm talking away, saying, I hope everything's well. And he turned straight at me and said, I think you have the wrong person. I'm not married. I was like, oh no.
Been there, done that. I've done that.
So
oh my gosh. I walk up people and call them by name, the wrong name.
That of course led into that great conversation, and it's kind of funny because he actually texted me the other day about something, so it led into the whole conversation. But yeah, that's probably where I embarrass myself the most, is I assume I know you, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't. Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh. But it does make for a fun conversation. That might just be a great fun technique to get to know new people, right? Just walk up to somebody random and start having a conversation with them.
That would be a great live show. Right. That'd be a great live show, right? You go to anyone?
And like, they're like, my name's not John.
But anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, you guys are going in and out. Go ahead.
That would be a fun to just and start having a conversation with them as if you really knew. Moment. Hey. Oh, Janine, share your.
My most embarrassing moment would be I remember when I fell at work. So I used to work in a law firm in downtown San Diego, and we had metal desks. So the tops weren't metal, but all the drawers and everything underneath was metal. And I had gotten up from my desk and I was getting ready to go to lunch. And I had bent over to pick up my gym bag because I worked out during my lunch hour. I went and I would change in our shower room, and then I would go out for a walk at lunch and stuff. And so I had done that, and I went to take a step back because, we had cubicles. So you would get in your little cubicle square corner thingy. And, but then you'd have to like turn around to get back out and everything. So I had a drawer that I had actually rolled open that I didn't know had opened. And so when I went to take a step back, I couldn't take the step back. So I fell over that drawer, but then I had a counter that came out on the side. So the space that I fell in was literally about that big. So of course I'm like folded up, and my legs are sticking up in the air, and I can't get myself out because the drawers are underneath my legs. And then being metal, it was so loud in the office. So all these people came to find out what happened. And there I am stuck on the floor with my legs straight up in the air, trying to get out.
Well, I hope you weren't injured. Are you okay?
Because it happened. So
I'm okay. Nobody bother. I'm okay.
And you're embarrassed, because now this has happened. And so I'm trying to get myself up, but then people are they're like, Janine, stop. We need to make sure you're okay. You hit your head. And I'm like, let me out. I can laugh about it now, but I was not happy about it back then.
Yeah, Abigail says she remembers those cubicles and desks.
Yeah. And I wanted to take note that Tamara Lanan actually said hey to me. So I want to say hey back to Tamara. Thanks for watching, Tamara.
Whoop, whoop. So, and Jeff Levin, he's actually Mary's and my coach. Hey, Jeff, it's good to see you there.
Hey, Jeff. Woo-hoo.
So I'll share mine really quick. I've had quite a few of them. I shared one last week. I'll share a different one this week because it wouldn't be as fun if I shared the same one again. Okay, so I had this time when I was in marching band. I played flute from 2nd to 12th grade. And then when I was in high school in 11th grade, we were having marching band practice and we were outside on the field and I was in the front. So I had like 100 people behind me. You know, I'm in the front and 100 people behind me. And all of a sudden I heard this snickering, like, people were laughing. I was like, what's going on? I can't see behind me.
Oh no.
So then suddenly I looked, dog peeing on my leg. I'm in 11th grade, the worst age, right? For something like that. Well, I guess 7th grade would have been worse, but 11th grade was bad enough. So people made fun of me for so many years after that. Anytime I see people from high school, like, they remember me for that. Thank you so much, guys. Now you guys can remember me for that too.
Oh my God.
The dog.
Wait, my question is, how did the dog get on the field?
It was so we had a drum major, person twirling the thingy around, the baton around, and it was his dog. And so he would bring his dog to practice every time. He always brought the dog to practice, but then the dog would just wander all over the place. It was a really friendly dog, but he chose me as his pee stand that day. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
What
Sorry,
Linda.
What nickname
Pissed on?
did you get?
Yeah.
What nickname did you get from that incident?
I don't remember, but because those
You
are
know that was a
traumatizing.
nickname.
That was a traumatic time in my life, being peed on by a dog. And
Well, hey, did you lose your stance? Did you go ahead and just keep in your stance and keep fluting away, right? Did you just keep going and didn't lose your stance, right?
No. This was band practice.
Oh, okay.
So performance, I always made sure that I did what I was supposed to do. Like, I'm a rule follower, Mary. I'm a rule follower.
Okay.
Okay. We have Cheryl and Letha are here and they're ready to roll. So you guys, I want to thank you so much. Again, we have Janine and Mary. You guys, after the end of today's show at 1:00 p.m. Pacific time, the polls will be open for you to go vote for your favorite. You'll go to talkotuesday.tv. So Janine and Mary, I'm going to send you down to the green room. You can stay there to hang out and listen to what's going on. Or you can watch live on Facebook and you can go and comment down there too, but no heckling. Okay, so again, this is Taco Tuesday. This is Lynda West. I am your host, and we're on the search for a co-host for the show. So I hope you enjoyed that segment there with Mary and Janine. Some fun things we were talking about there. You might notice periodically that maybe that one of us skips, our voice skips or something happens. And so, we're just going through it because that's part of live video. Here's what's really cool. One of my favorite things about live video is that we have this opportunity to do what I'm doing here. I'm bringing people onto the screen at different times. They're sitting down there in the lobby waiting to come up until I say, okay, Steven, send them up. And this is BeLive.tv. Go check it out. If you're doing live streaming and you want to do something more than just using your Facebook, using your phone, you can use your phone or your computer here on BeLive.tv. So go check it out, BeLive.tv. And so next we're going to bring, let's see. Okay, the polls open. Oh, I forgot to tell you when the polls close. Duh. The polls close December 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And we're bringing up onto the screen Cheryl and Letha. And you guys, welcome to round 2. And this is the semifinals. Oh, I love that background. So beautiful, Letha. And I'm a little bit jealous because this is what I got for me. So, but it's all good. How are you guys doing today?
Great. How are you doing, Lynda?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. I'm having just so you guys know in advance, I'm having a little bit of connection problems here today. So if I stop talking or if I freeze or whatever show, like just carry on the show as if I'm not here during that time. So guys, today I want to know what's going on in your world. Cheryl, why don't you share with us
what's going on in my world? Thanks so much, Lynda.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Dale. Dale's saying hi to me, so I'm going to say hi to Dale. Dale's out there watching. Thanks for watching, Dale. What's going on in my world? I am really I love December because I take this time to really get ready to move into the new year. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm putting together, a few workshops that I have for starting off the new year. And I'm trying out a new platform, trying out some different things for my live videos, and just working on all of that. I really love just bringing what's going to happen into the new year and really closing up December. I've actually did a workshop last week talking about letting go of the past and, moving into the new. And so it's a really great time to look at things like that in December.
That, yeah, is this what's new for you?
I apologize, Lynda. Were you asking me a question?
Oh,
because you froze.
Yeah, I was wondering if this is a practice that you do every year. At the end of the year, do you always do this?
Yeah, I like to do a burning bowl ceremony, and I will usually invite people over and do that in person, and have people just kind of write down the things that have happened throughout the year that they're just ready to release. They learned the lesson of whatever it was, they're ready to let it go and move into whatever new is going to be coming to them. And then I do a meditation with that, and we'll actually just have them burn it up. I have them put it in a bowl, and we do it outside and burn it up. Let it go.
Burn it up. I love it. You guys, just so you know, I'm going to jump over to my phone because I'm having connection problems on my computer. So go ahead and keep going. But yeah, Letha, why don't you share with us like what you have going, this year? And then do you have any rituals, things that, like, I love the idea of, the burning bowl. I never heard of that. Like, just burn that crap, right?
Well, for myself, right now I'm seeing my season coming to an end. I've been busy every weekend since about mid-October, and I've only got a couple of other private sessions to work with people. So I get to really kind of cruise through the rest of this year. When I used to work in corporate world, I was constantly busy and trying to make sure I got everything accomplished within a working day. And that was a lot of stress and a lot of discomfort in my life. So my new digs for the last 10 years, I have seasons and I'm coming to a close, and I'm really looking forward to relaxing a little bit and enjoying the holidays, where in the past I haven't really been able to enjoy. But also because I work for myself, and I also have wonderful clients that I just wouldn't give up for anything. They are part of my winding down. So for me, it's winding down, similar to what Cheryl was doing. I don't necessarily do a burning. However, I do like to do the sage and pass the sage around the house and make sure that we get fresh for the first of the year. Not necessarily a ceremony. However, it really just brings in some fresh energy that's necessary to begin again. And that's what I always look at it as, just another to begin again. And I'm planning for next year as well, but I'm looking at, I start fresh every year. I try not to get myself into any kind of a nook where it has to be the same thing. There's certain things that happen every year, whether I want them to or not. Other than that, it's a fresh start every time.
What's interesting is I was thinking, as listening to you guys be speaking about that, I realized that I don't really see an end of a year and a beginning of a year. For me, it's just like a continuation. And so maybe I need to look at it a little differently. I don't know, but it's kind of interesting that, like, we all look at, life differently, right? What we have going on in our lives. And for some, there's an end and a beginning, and for some there's a continuation. And I think with most of the things, I see them as a continuation. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting, listening to you guys. I'm like, maybe I should plan a little more.
Well, I think too. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Well, I was just going to say, I have always loved January, and I live in the mid-Atlantic, so it's cold, but I've always loved January because it's so full of possibilities. I just see it. I see this new and this fresh new year that's coming in, and just so full of possibilities and all these options that are open. And I just get very excited.
I think for me too, I'm very seasonal. So I'm looking at the seasons, and I break my year up into two. There's summer solstice and winter solstice.
Yes.
Winter solstice for me is the return of the light. So I like to start again. And I am one of those people that one door closes, another one opens. So we close the year down, just like in when you're budgeting, you either have a July budget or a January budget. You close out one year and you begin another. So for me, it is more ceremonial in that manner, where I am looking at the beginning of the start of daylight again. So every day, every minute every day that some winter solstice passes by, then we get an extra minute of daylight. I'm like, yay for daylight.
Yes.
And then I start closing down in summer, and I'm dreading June 21st. I'm like, please, no, stay a little bit longer.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm set up that way with those seasons, and so December 21st is close enough to January 1st to start new again.
That's so funny you say that, because my husband and I, we have this, I hate to use the word argument because it's not really an argument, but it's a continuing conversation every year. I'm like, oh my God, I love June 21st because it's the longest day of the year. It's my favorite. And my husband's like, I love June 21st because it means we're getting closer to winter. It's like we love that same day, but for totally opposite reasons. What's that all about?
Yeah.
It's so funny. So just so you guys know right now, so I'm on my phone. I switched over to my phone. I apologize, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me better here, but I can't see you, and I'm just letting you and the audience know. So I can't see you guys, and I can't see any comments, and so I'm just here, blindly winging it. So let's have a good time.
You sound really good. I can hear you well now.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
You're very
So
clear.
that's good. Yeah, I'm in a different location today. My husband and I bought an RV a couple months ago, and we're just, doing RV kind of life. And so when I do my videos, we don't have any good internet connection where we are. So I have to go find a place to do my videos. And the location I'm in today, bummer, their Wi-Fi is not as good as I had hoped it would be. But, hey, we just keep on going, right? That's the thing.
Take what you got.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm going to have you guys tell me, like right at the beginning here, what is your most embarrassing moment? Bam. I don't want to come up with a third one. I have plenty.
Cheryl, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go right
good one,
ahead,
Letha. Good one.
Oh, I will, because I have one. So I will. I'll go ahead and go. This happened to me a few years back when I was living in Salt Lake City, and I was coming back from a business trip. I was coming back from Las Vegas. I was coming through the Salt Lake airport and getting ready to take the escalator up to walk over to the parking garage and go home. And I went to get on the escalator, and this large man got on right in front of me with two big suitcases, one in front and one in back. And I got on behind him, and we are about halfway up the escalator, and he lost control. He lost control of his bags, and he fell back on me. And I tried, put my hands up trying to stop him, like that was going to happen. And he threw me. It was awful. I got thrown over my suitcase, and I was tumbling down the escalator. It felt like forever. I mean, it wasn't, but it felt like it. And my bag wedged and stopped him from falling. So he hit my bag, and it wedged, and it stopped him from falling. And I heard someone scream. Someone screamed, hit the stop button, hit the emergency stop. And so by that time I was really at the bottom. And I mean, it was quite embarrassing, but I was hurt. I actually left the airport in an ambulance.
My God.
But I mean, because you're just falling and you can't stop, and you just don't think about that when you're on an escalator. You just don't. And then when I got to the hospital, the doctor said, you were very, very lucky, because those stairs are made of steel. They're like steel teeth, and if you would have hit, I mean, it could have really. I mean, I hurt my shoulder, and I sprained both wrists. But I mean, it wasn't a funny thing, but it was very embarrassing. But yeah, I like to share that when I have an opportunity to, because I want people to pay attention when they're on escalators.
And how nice of you to try to help him from falling. You tried.
I tried.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that's a good point right there, is because most embarrassing moments aren't always the funniest, right? Well, and for us in the moment, they're definitely not funny, but yours isn't funny even after the fact. That's some serious stuff there. Oh my gosh. Letha, top that.
Well, mine's not quite like that. However, I searched back to my early days as a young professional. I had just moved out, and I had a part-time job working somewhere in a really nice type of an office, a government type office. And I won't give out any special words or names so that the innocent are protected. But I had they taught me how to use rubber bands to shoot at people. I had never used a rubber band. And so I learned how to, do this. And then I was always getting spitballs at me. This is how they let off some steam in this office. They just kind of shot rubber bands at each other and threw things at each other. Well, I got into it too because they were doing it. So I was going to do it. And then I got this letter. And they said, you need to see this letter. And so actually this new area director had just started the position. And she called me into her office. She said, you need to see this letter. And so I opened this letter, and it was from an official letterhead. It said how it was very inappropriate that I was doing this and that they were going to tell everyone of my escapades. And my heart started racing because I was so embarrassed that I had been caught doing that and that it really was inappropriate that I should be doing that. This lady was in on it, because all of them were standing behind me in the window watching my reaction, because I was getting ready to finish that part of the job and move on to something else. And so they were laughing at me the whole time because the boss was showing me this letter that was reprimanding me for shooting rubber bands and saying how unprofessional it was. But it was all a big joke, and I was so embarrassed. I've not shot a rubber band since.
Oh, I was just going to ask you, do you have a rubber band you can show us that you can shoot?
I don't. And I gave up rubber bands.
I gave up rubber bands. That reminds me of a time I worked, mine was a government job too. I've had 49 jobs, for those who don't know. I've had 49 jobs.
Close.
Oh, cool. I haven't met my match yet, but I think I've met a lot of people who are really, really close. But this one job that I had, I worked from like midnight until 8 in the morning, and there was downtime from 3 to 4 in the morning. The computer systems went down. So my friend and I would go grocery shopping sometimes, during work at 3 and 4 in the morning. So this one day we decided to go grocery shopping, and we got some cherries. And she was like, hey, do you want to have a cherry pit spitting contest? And so we just like went through, we ate the entire bag of cherries, just the two of us, just spitting cherry seeds like all night long. That wasn't embarrassing or anything, but your story of shooting a rubber band just kind of reminded me of that cherry pit spitting contest. Good times. Like the craziest thing you've ever done, like in front of somebody, I don't know. I was sharing earlier with Janine and Mary that our first episode of the actual official Taco Tuesday, which is January 8th, is going to be about near-death experiences. I was wondering if you guys have ever had any near-death experience yourself. Any of you?
Cheryl?
No, I haven't.
No,
oh, wait, you did almost die by escalator.
Well, that was, there have been experiences, yes, but no near-death experiences.
Well, Lynda, I have to say that I have not had a personal experience with that, although in a spiritual sense, I have found new life from really catastrophic health conditions, and you suddenly have a new reason to keep going based on what you saw flashing before your eyes. But I have really actually sat with people who have had them, not at the time, but definitely helped them to understand that that's exactly what they were experiencing. That from my knowledge, that is what you were experiencing, was a near-death experience. And my own mother has actually had at least 2 near-death experiences.
Oh, wow.
And I was there for one of them with her. And the amazing thing is, being a bystander, I'm sitting there praying really hard that my mother's okay. She had a terrible catastrophic stroke. And we were on the board. We were on the board. We didn't know which way we were going to go. And as an afterthought, I remembered seeing an angel standing behind me. And I also saw another angel in the room, but off to the side. So I asked someone who, at the time, I didn't know what those were. And they said, yes, that was an angel there for your mother, but there was also an angel there for me. And it was just as an afterthought that from books that I've read about that experience, that the same people wearing the same things were in my vision afterwards as what people were experiencing themselves. So it is a fascinating subject matter, and I am just like in awe of anyone who can go through that. I've known several.
Wow. And I see Lauren Page just said, she's like, I've had a near-death experience. Wow, that's Lauren, if you're interested in being on the show, it's January 8th. The show is from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time, 3 to 4 Eastern time, 8 to 9 UK time. I always throw the UK time in because we got Stephen Healey running the board here, and he's in the UK. And if you're interested in being on that show, go ahead and send me a private message, Lynda Sunshine West, and you send me a private message and let me know that you're interested in being on that show. Because what we're going to do, so here's how the show is going to work, you guys. I don't know if I've shared this much, but what we're going to do is we'll have 2 co-hosts. So it'll be me with 2 co-hosts. In addition, we have 1 more spot available to have guests on. So we will have guests that we bring on to the show. So for that show, for example, we're going to bring on people who have actually had near-death experiences. We'll only have room for, I think, 3 people. I did the show notes last night, looking it over. It looks like I'll have room for 3 people to interview on that show to bring on as guests. So if you're interested in being on this, go ahead and send me a private message. I don't have any other way to capture your information right now because I just thought of this moment. So I haven't created that way yet, which I will create. And so, that's the way things happen, right? Just like think about it and just do it. Like actually, Stephen and I have a show every Thursday called Just Do It, and that's at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, go ahead and shoot me a private message letting me know that you're interested in being one of the guests on the show, because it'll be interesting to hear different people's stories. Like 2 of the people that I do have coming on for sure already as guests, like just hearing their stories, it just blow your mind of what they've experienced. And I want to bring some of that kind of fun stuff to the show. So you guys join us there. So let me see, what do we have showing up on the screen here? Oh, he was showing our 4 contestants, Janine, Mary, Cheryl, and Letha. You guys are the ones that are going through the audition process today. And then at the end of today, people will vote. And you'll go to talkotuesday.tv to vote. And when you vote for 1 to 4. If you like all 4 of the people and you're like, I want all 4 of them to go into the next round, go ahead and vote for all 4 of them. You don't have to vote for just 1. In addition to that, the voting polls will close December 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you get your vote in, and only 1 vote. Like you can vote for all 4 at one time though, because if you have your same email address coming up over and over and over again, I just delete those extra ones. So go vote for who you want to vote. So you guys, why don't you share with us? Oh, Cheryl, I'd love to hear like what kind of process you go through in like for the ending the year and beginning the year. Like do you journal? Do you like what kind of things do you go through? Do you look at your whole last year and say, these things didn't go very well, I should do this instead, or these things went well, so I'm going to do them better? Like, what do you go through? I'm just curious.
Well, I really like to look at things as they happen in my life. I really work on staying in the present moment. And so when things happen to me and I need to release them, I do. But I will look over things in December again. And in fact, I just had a situation that just happened to me last week where, I had some stuff come up inside of me that was negative, and I really didn't realize it was there. Mm. And I said, and I had to really get real with myself and say, you know what, you need to process this. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it's there, but guess what? It's coming up and out. And here we go. And
coming up and out.
Up and out. And that's what I say, this energy, so sometimes we have energy that really gets stuck down in us and we don't even know it's there. And there was I don't even remember exactly what the situation that happened was. And I started thinking to myself, you're being a little judgy, you're being a little judgy. And I was like, that's not really my nature. And I had to stop and look at it and say, okay, but it doesn't matter if that's not really your nature. That's in you. That's down in you. It's coming out for some reason. You're seeing that situation that way. And we need to deal with that.
I noticed the same thing about me. Now, I will share that actually my nature, the nature that I grew up in, was that of judgment, and it was one of negativity. Like I grew up in that kind of environment. So for me to break through that was a process. It took me a couple of years to actually break through that. And so I worked really, really hard on breaking through that negativity and being different and wanting to like be a happy person, And so anyway, about 2 months ago, I started noticing someone placing a lot of judgment on me. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. But then what I noticed just 2 or 3 days ago was that I started becoming judgmental as well. It's not that 2 or 3 days ago I started becoming judgmental. but I had started becoming judgmental when I noticed that other person was being judgmental about me. Then what came next? Jealousy. Then I started becoming jealous. So I had this judgment, jealous going on with me. And I was just talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was like, I'm noticing all this stuff where I'm starting to place judgment on people. I'm starting to get jealous about things. And what I realized it was the people that I was getting jealous about, I actually told one of my clients this because I let her know. It's like, I'm going through this thing. And what it was is I was getting jealous of my clients for doing more faster than I did. But here's the thing, my whole program, my whole thing is about helping them do more faster. So I was delivering to them the results that I said I was going to do, but I was getting jealous of it. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting jealous of the very thing that I want them to do. So what was cool about it is for me to be able to come to this realization, I can say, I'm not jealous anymore. There's no more jealousy. I'm like, go for it, go. This is so awesome. This is exactly what I want you to do.
It's so freeing, isn't it? It is so, it's like when we realize that, when we see it, when we allow ourselves to see it and we're willing to accept it for what it is, then we can let it go. And I'm telling you, I know you feel the same way from what you just said. I've been walking around for days feeling so much lighter than I had been that I was last week. And it's a wonderful feeling.
And you can enter the happiness that, I'm not going to say that I wasn't happy because I was still happy, but I had happy with judgment. Now to have happy without judgment and happy without jealousy is so much, it's just like bliss, right? It's like pure joy. And I can now look at what they're doing and be like grateful to them for delivering me this joy that I have. Like I actually am doing something of purpose. And I'm really living in that purpose. It's so awesome. So, Lynda, you have any thoughts on that?
Well, we all get stuck occasionally, and personally, I like to blame everything on Mercury retrograde. But other than that,
I don't even know what that means, but I blame it anyway.
When I start feeling weird and I start seeing patterns, because I'm a queen at seeing and recognizing a pattern coming up. And I'm always checking in with myself because I'm like, is it me? Is it me? Is it me? So when we look at those processes all the time, then I think that when you actually are able to clear away the fog and see what actually is going on, then it makes everything much easier. It is just like that little song. You can see clearly now the rain is gone. So once you process through it, and I think when you can see it for what it is, the truth, and what's actually going on, and a realization and an aha moment, then you can move forward with that. And that's the surprise element sometimes, is that I didn't see that happening. I couldn't believe that it was happening. And I think it happens to so many people. But what happens is people can't get past that because they're not self-processing. They're not taking it apart and analyzing it like so many of us that think too much and we're constantly overthinking everything. At least I am. I won't say we. But it's like, break it down and see it for what it really is, and recognize it, understand it, and move on. And I think that's key, is understanding and moving forward.
And with that note, I just realized, oh my gosh, we have less than a minute left. And so I know it goes fast, doesn't it?
What was that?
And somebody has this room at 1:00. So like, I literally got to get out of here. So I'm going to end this with, thank you guys so much for being on the show. We're going to announce the winners. The winners from last week are, Stephen, if you want to show that up on the screen, Anita and Clara. So Anita and Clara, you're moving into the final round, which is next week, December 18th. Look forward to seeing you there. The polls are open, and give me like 2 minutes to open up the polls. That's talkotuesday.tv. Vote for your favorite. Again, vote for 1 to 4 of the people, whoever you thought was the best. If you want to vote for all 4 of them, vote for all 4 of them. You guys, it was a pleasure having you on the show. I'm talking so fast because I got to go.
Thanks so much. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, Lynda. Bye. Bye, Clara or Cheryl.
Bye.